end, I want to talk real seriously here. On the military end, that happens to be first on your list as far as that you are commander on the military side of things in your life. And I want to tell honestly listeners where that came from, what that means. Since the polls closed, this wonderful AB 51 vote.com, at least, which is still open, by the way, till the 31st of July. But if you remember real well, referendum day, the 30th, and then, of course, the 1st of July, which was Blue Angels Day. You remember that, Val?
Yeah,
and then
they took back Canada.
Yeah, and then you remember the 4th of July, where America was celebrating the 1st of July in Canada. And there was a lot of military talk at that time. And there was also a talk where I was, if you remember, Val, because you broke it, I was really feeling relieved and ready to move on. In life, you know how it goes in life. Mission accomplished, fait accompli. And since that day, literally since July 1st, I have been contacted by some of the most amazing human beings, honestly, that I've ever met. And most of them in the military, Val. Oddly, incredible.
Yes.
And I was contacted by someone who's become really a dear friend. And full disclosure here, Val, if I get emotional this morning, just put my mute button on, right?
I won't do that.
But I was
you get to be honest and real.
Well, you know this, Val, because you, as usual, were on the inside track. And knowing this, Captain James McCormick is a gentleman that you actually featured on your last show. He dropped in wonderfully. But Captain James McCormick and I, in literally, Val, 10 days, have become, honestly, I'll say this, kind of best of friends, almost like past life thing. Maybe we fought in the military together or something, one of those relationships. And James McCormick is he's a retired captain, U.S. Army. He is not only a Purple Heart recipient, he is a 3-time Purple Heart recipient. He is also national commander of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. Because James pretends to be a hillbilly West Virginian, as you know, Val, he's the most humble man in the world. But he oversees on the Purple Heart side of it. I get very emotional because these are the most amazing gentlemen I've ever encountered. Because they haven't just served in the military, Val. They've taken a shot for the military, right? They've been.
Yes.
Anyhow. There have been 1.2 million Purple Heart recipients since George Washington. And currently, Val, here we go. I'm getting a little emotional. But Captain McCormick, National Commander McCormick, he is the leader of 49,000 Purple Heart recipients in the United States of America that are living, Val. And are you ready for this, Val?
Yeah.
And this is why he contacted me, and he contacted simultaneously you, Val. I'm going to talk about that in a second, okay? But he reached out, and what I did not realize is he is the leader of 22,000 Canadians, many of which are in Alberta, Canada, Val. 22,000. And bottom line, the commander's taken great interest in Alberta 51, which he's very vocal about. He's taken great interest in actually Greg Meakin's mission and Val Olson's mission. He's taken great interest in Sheriff Mark Lamb, soon to be senator. I'll just say it right now. He's going to be. And by the way, Val, I told him this the other day. Do you realize Sheriff Mark Lamb is going to be the 51st vote in the United States Senate? Did you know that?
That's right.
And secondly,
Yes.
do you know that he turned 51 on Friday? Did you know that Sheriff Lamb is a big proponent of AB 51? And I think there are more 51s to come, but I thought that was very, very poignant, just to digress for a second. But back to the captain. The captain he was invited on Fox News by Brian Kilmeade about a year ago to discuss the Afghanistan awful pullout by our current president. This is who this captain is. This is who this commander is. And I'm arranging a flight out to Arizona for the commander to visit personally, to privately introduce him to Sheriff Mark Lamb. Because the unheralded thing about what all these incredible Purple Heart guys, and by the way, it's not just the 49,000, it's not just the 22,000 in Alberta. He's touching, the commander is touching probably 300 to 350,000 current military listeners in the United States and Canada and around the world, Val. I mean, so he's going to be coming out to Arizona. I'll keep you posted on this because Val Olson News is where New News gets its news. He'll be meeting Sheriff Lamb, and hopefully, fingers crossed, depending on everyone's schedule, we'll be visiting the U.S.-Mexican border. The captain has asked for a tour of the border so he can report back to his 300,000 people. So I guess that's the first announcement.